Hello, I'm Jacob Kosick. I'm the president of Chem-E Car, and this is our Chem-E Car. We've done a lot to make this car safe, and I'll show you how we've complied with all the regulations. First of all, here we have our battery container. This will house all of the aluminum air batteries. Those will be constructed in these rectangular shapes and inserted into these slots. On one side will be the current collector mesh, and on the other side aluminum, and then we connect these batteries in series, put them all in here. This is first containment, this is our second containment, but since we are using potassium hydroxide, we have built this splash protector so that we don't have any splashes in this. It'll still be able to spill out the bottom, but it's not too hazardous of a material. The cleanup will be too bad. Our stopping mechanism will take place in this dark chamber. We will have a beaker. We will put the beaker in this dark chamber, and then we will put this lid over the dark chamber. Once we're ready to run the car, we will attach this syringe, this extended syringe on top with tape. So we'll tape that on, then we'll bring it to the starting line, and then when we're ready to run the car, we will inject the solution into the beaker in here. These two sides, these two little holes in the side, are little holders for our LED light, LED light and the color sensor. And that will sense the color change. It will have wires going through these holes into the Arduino, which is kept in this neat little case in the bottom here. So the Arduino we have will basically fit right on this little tray. It will slide over to keep all those electronic components.
Okay. And why don't you make a comment about the connections leading out of the Arduino?
The connections leading out of the Arduino?
Right, these.
These, oh
well. Just, I'm more concerned that you be able to describe to me how the connections work. Okay, so the main point I wanted to get is you've got pin connectors there.
Yes, these are all pin connectors. The batteries will be a bit more complicated. We will have to attach, when we have the wires coming out of here, we will have to attach the pins. So these are perforated steel sheets. We can slide the pins through these holes, and it makes a pretty tight connection if we bend it or if we tape that. And then on the other side, we'll just have aluminum. And the aluminum is really easy because then we can just wrap the aluminum around these pins. So those connections are pretty easy.
Okay.
All of these are for the light sensor and the LED light. So that'll all be contained snugly when this car is ready to run. Now we talk about pinch points. Over here we have a gear shaft gear mechanism that is running the car. So we have the motor right here. This will turn this gear right here. This gear will in turn turn this gear and run the car. The pinch point is way back here, but just to protect, we will have a covering over there when this car is ready to run, so that no one will get any, loose pieces of clothing or anything caught in there.
Okay, very good. So we've covered the syringe, we've covered the connections, we've covered double containment. Anything else you want to tell me about the car or its safe care and feeding?
It's safe care and feeding? Well, this car is pretty slow compared to a lot of the other cars that University of Cincinnati has had in the past. So it won't be like a speeding bullet down the track. It'll kind of meander along relatively slowly. So there's not too much of a, I would say, physical hazard with this car as much as with our pressure cars. And then the aluminum air batteries, they have very high energy density. The connections between each battery will be very compact copper tape around there, so that the aluminum will be in direct contact with this steel mesh. So the contact will be very tight. In contrast with the alligator clips we kind of did last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things we'll be looking at right before you run is to make sure that all that's properly insulated and safe from inadvertent contact.
That's one of the other reasons why we have this container, is to hide all the electrical connections, and then out of these holes is where we will connect the batteries.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that description.